Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. So I've been in a rut for the past several months, thinking about my career and how I designed my life. So I'm a doctor. I ran my own practice with another partner of mine, and I developed the practice over these years into an income generating asset of more than 1 million ringgit per year. But about 2 weeks ago, I decided to quit my job and end my partnership. But this was not based on whim. It took me many layers of processes for close to a year. So I like to share what was my thought process and how I did a self-evaluation before taking action. It took me a long time for me to learn all these true experiences, but if I could share it in a video, perhaps it could help anyone who's watching this video and save them the time. So how to realize if my current job actually fits me? So I've summarized all my experiences into a 5-point approach, aka the Pentagon approach. So every time when I go to work, I used to wonder, how come some people love what they're doing and some people hate what they're doing? And I soon came to realize that if my values are not aligned to what I'm doing daily, and then it's only a matter of time before I hit a brick wall, no matter how well the job pays. So for me, the values that I hold daily was freedom, growth, family, and to be of service to others. While getting into the job that I'm currently in, to be of service to others was checked, but everything else was off the table. So I hit a brick wall. So moving forward, I realized that if I can clearly list out what are the values that I hold dearly in my life, then designing a career around those values becomes an easier approach. 90,000 hours, that's how much an average person spends during his or her lifetime working. So a lot of energy is spent during work hours. So assessing one's energy level before, during, and after work says a lot about job suitability. So in my case, I'm a morning person. I got ample energy during the mornings. So assessing my state, whether I'm in a negative state or positive state before going to work, whether I'm being anxious or I'm looking forward to fulfilling the task for the day, says a lot about me and the job. And during the day, how I'm projecting my energy towards my customers, in my case, my patients, and also my colleagues, whether I'm being snappy and ignorant or whether I'm being encouraging or empathetic towards my patient, says a lot about the job also. And after work, how do I feel? Whether I'm feeling tired and burnt out or whether I'm feeling tired but fulfilled. So if I'm feeling tired and burnt out, usually I go home, binge on food or consume alcohol to make myself feel better. So actually assessing energy level throughout the workday gives a lot of information about whether how well suited a person is towards that particular job. Survival mode versus growth mode. Basically, this relates to our values again. In my case, I hold growth as an important value in my life. So every time when I do a task, by asking a question, am I feeling my growth or am I doing a task just to collect my paycheck at the end of the month? Says a lot whether I'm in a survival mode or am I in a growth mode. So of course this does not happen overnight. It requires proper planning and strategy because all of us have our commitments, which I hope to share in the next video. Nowadays, if I can outsource a task, if I can afford it, I would ideally do it because time, end of the day, is a limited resource. I can use the save time to actually fuel my growth. For example, this video that I'm currently making, I should ideally outsource the editing part of this video to use the save time for me to focus on the channel's growth. Self-narrative. Who do I speak to most of the time every single day? I realize we speak to ourselves most of the time every single day, especially when we are alone. I do. So when I'm driving, when I'm eating, when I'm in the toilet, I tell myself a narrative, and usually this narrative is for us to feel better. And every time before and after work, I tell myself a victimized narrative, and most of the time it goes unnoticed. And I started catching myself doing this on a consistent basis, and then I realized that I should do something to evaluate what I'm doing on a daily basis if I'm telling myself such a narrative. Finally, it's time to disprove the hypothesis. After everything is said and done, we are always compassionate to ourselves, no matter what. So I took a conscious effort to actually disprove my hypothesis. So number one was I acknowledged I was being uneasy about my job and I was willing to be aware of it most of the time. So I did a mental checklist for the next 6 months. So how I feel every time when I go to work, how I am every time during work, and am I finding excuses not to go to work, and am I finding reasons to do anything else except for my job? So roughly after 6 months, I knew where I was standing and I went on to get an unbiased opinion. So besides getting opinion of my family and friends, I signed up for a mentorship program called Infinite Wealth. And I was mentored by two famous entrepreneurs in Singapore called Melvin So and also Kenchi. These are straight up, no nonsense, no sugarcoating programs where they guide you and tell you straight to your face where you're supposed to be and what you were supposed to be doing. And this is where I found out that I cannot disprove my hypothesis and I could make a decision with proper clarity. So I hope the stepwise approach on assessing career suitability based on the summary of my experiences helps. And in the next video, I will share how I actually planned a relatively safe and graceful exit strategy. And one thing about quitting a job can be very anxiety provoking. And if you'd like to know more about managing anxiety, check out this video I made about anxiety. So till then, take care, see you all, bye bye.